Hiya there. Welcome to the podcast. I've got an old pal of mine from Coventry, Ian McCranor, who I believe now lives in the USA. How did that happen, Ian?
Oh, it's a long story. Probably better for another. It's a longer podcast,
for another podcast. Okay.
It's
Okay.
a long story.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Right. So hang on. Let's go back a little bit. How long have I known you for? It's got to be bloody hell, 20 odd years.
Well, I've been in the States 20 years.
Oh man. Oh, I must have known you 30 years then. Could be
more than that. I actually remember the very first time I met you.
Where was that?
You don't know?
Combat?
Yeah. No, it wasn't at Combat. It was at the Temple Karate Center, Birmingham.
Oh, downstairs in
Downstairs.
That's in Birmingham. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a Combat. I think it was the photo shoot that they were doing.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My memory's terrible because I'm much older than you, obviously. And
a lot older, I think. Yeah.
A lot older. Yeah. Brilliant. So Temple Karate. Just to put that in perspective, that was like the holy grail of karate back in the day in Birmingham, wasn't it?
The Terra Karate Kai, yeah, with Kamizawa.
Ah, Kamizawa.
That's where Eugene Codrington came from.
Yeah. These are big names that people won't have even heard of, you know.
Norman McKenzie.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the big names came from Birmingham, Wolverhampton. They all trained in there. Yeah, I mean, over the road from there was Eddie Daniels' place.
Yeah. You see, these are names that people now just have not heard of. And these are these guys were legends in their lifetime, weren't they, really? Yeah. And yet we don't, hardly anybody, you talk to karate guys now and they've never even heard of these people.
Isn't it crazy, Bob, that we've now got social media, got Facebook.
Yeah.
You can see anybody, anytime, anywhere, 24 hours a day. And I still don't know who the British team is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't see, we used to look at Combat magazine, Traditional Karate magazine.
Yeah.
We used to go through the mag and look at the results from competitions.
Yeah.
There were profiles on people.
Yeah.
And somebody involved in, like you were involved in karate at the time when I met you. I think you had just gone over to Muay Thai. I thought, or you were doing both.
I was doing both. I was teaching both. I was teaching wado-ryu and I was teaching Muay Thai as well. Yeah.
But I used to look forward to going to buy Combat every month. And I knew everybody who was involved in British karate.
Yeah.
Combat also started to show a lot of Muay Thai stuff in there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Boxing. Howard Brown, Dev Barrett, all those people.
Howard Brown, Dev Barrett.
Birmingham, they were all people who got into the first full contact that was going on.
Yeah.
And that, you saw them in the magazine, and you don't see that now. I mean, if you're on Facebook, name me one fighter that would potentially be supposedly in the Olympics. They were supposed to be in the Olympics 2020.
Yeah.
Name of the British team.
You see, I can't name any karate people now. And when I meet karate guys, which I do at the University of Birmingham, where they have a karate club, and you'll be surprised at this, I was gobsmacked. I said to this guy, I said, I did Shotokan and Goju-ryu, and I trained with Noida Sensei Kanazawa, and they were going, who are they? I was like, Noida brought Shotokan karate to this country.
Yeah.
And they hadn't even heard of him. I mean, and I was like, I said, you must have heard of Terry O'Neill. And they're like, blank. I go, Terry O'Neill, you've not heard of Terry O'Neill and Bob Rhodes and Bob Poynton and Andy Sherry and, all of these like giants of the karate. I mean, and back then as well, and I know you've got your views on it. Karate was, and a lot of people say, karate's a load of shit, but these were hard men.
Yeah.
These were tough men. And karate competitions weren't something to take lightly. I remember doing Thai boxing, and I was thinking, I feel safer doing Muay Thai than I did doing karate competitions, because at least I had gloves on. And you know yourself, number of teeth that used to get smashed out, and that would be a point. That would be Now you'd be disqualified for the rest of your life for excessive contact.
Karate has certainly changed over the years.
Yeah, I mean, you were there back in the day. So if we go back to your start, right? So we met at the temple, but you'd been doing karate quite a while then, hadn't you?
Yeah.
So you tell me about how that started. How old were you when you started karate? You know,
I started my training, I guess, from probably the age 11, 12. I was in Aikido for a few years.
Ah, okay. That's where you started.
I started in Aikido, a little bit of boxing, but we sneaked into. It's funny. We went to the. We tried to sneak into a porn movie.
How old were
you? 12, 13.
13, brilliant.
Yeah. And it was the system. So it was the what's it called? Theatre One in Coventry,
Right.
and we got in.
Oh, right.
We got it.
Okay.
Yeah. It was all soft porn, obviously, but we thought we were going to watch this porn movie.
Yeah.
A group of lads. Anyway, and we're doing Aikido at the time. And before the movie started, there were the trailers, and we sat there, and Fist of Fury trailer came on.
Oh, of course, yeah, Bruce Lee.
And we're like, what the? Well, we got to do that.
Yeah.
So of course, we're all into trying to find kung fu places then. Kung fu on the TV, and we found a few kung fu places, but they just didn't really appeal to me. And then I forget what I saw the advertisement. I saw an advert for karate somewhere. So in fact, I joined Taekwondo first of all. So I did about 3 or 4 weeks Taekwondo.
Right.
For some reason, didn't get into that either.
No.
And then I started karate, and I'd been doing it for about maybe a month, and I was loving it. I thought this is awesome. So I'm like 14, 15 now. I'm at school, I'm playing rounders, and I twist, and my knee cracks, and I crack a cartilage.
Right.
So in them days, you'd have thought the teacher would have come and got the ambulance and took you home. No. Yeah. They thought I was faking it.
Yeah, a wet sponge.
Yeah. They thought, oh, go on, now you'll be okay. So I've limped all the way with this torn cartilage. I've limped all the way to the bus, got on the bus, limped all the way home.
Yeah.
I go to the doctor, they check it out. I go to the hospital. I end up hospital in those days. 2 weeks to my cartilage removed.
Yeah.
Actually in hospital for 2 weeks getting that done. So of course I was out of any kind of training for a good while then. Then I started back karate, and it was like an offshoot of a club that was at Barry Tatlow, Graham Tucky in Coventry, and so I went from there then. So it's like Holbrook's Karate Club I was with then. That was pretty much my grounding in karate.
Okay, and that was Shotokan, yeah?
No, wado.
Oh, wado-ryu. You started in wado-ryu as well?
Yeah, I was wado, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was my first style that I started in when I was a kid, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's geared towards competition, isn't it, wado? It was much faster and lighter. It was seen because of shorter stances and that.
I'm just turning this phone up, Bob. Sorry, it's just got like dings. I don't want to keep interrupting us. Give me a second.
No. Fine. It's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, I hadn't got a lot to do with. I didn't really understand a lot about different styles then. I just went, like most people, they go to a karate club and they think karate is karate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started competing, and then there were open competitions that you saw Shotokan people.
Okay.
You just saw different ways of doing things. Then I started realizing there were different styles around. But
yeah. But you started off in wado.
In wado, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, the way of the dove. You know, Suzuki. Because my first karate instructor, Danny Shiganis, who's still alive, and he's in his mid-80s now, and still teaching wado-ryu. He was one of the first English guys, probably the first Geordie, to go to Japan and train with Tatsuo Suzuki and Hironori Otsuka, which is amazing. And we used to look up, you know, he was like a hero to me when I was like 12 years old, like, you know. He was like,
were they confused with the way you spoke?
Say again?
Were they confused with the way the Geordies spoke?
Probably. Well, I've got Italian friends who say I speak Italian with a Geordie accent. So,
Okay.
but Geordie lends itself to the Italian accent. You know,
Does
things
it?
like Tara Masalata, like spaghetti, like.
Did you hear about the two Geordies walking down the road?
Go on, we've got a joke coming up.
Yeah, two Geordies walking down the road, and one says, "I think I can smell coconut." She says, "Well, you bounty."
Your bounty. For those that don't know what a bounty is, it's a chocolate bar. You should know what a bounty is. Well, your
Well, you
bounty,
bounty.
like, where I man. Well, I
Well,
used
yeah.
to, as you know, I used to be a comedian on a circuit,
Yeah.
and I used to have a joke, and this was mine. So somebody will probably nick it now.
Yeah.
But it was like there's a new Geordie TV police series coming on soon called WI50.
Yeah.
So yeah, WI50. Anyway, so you into your wado-ryu, you're into open. You've talked about competitions now, so
Yeah.
this is where you started to sort of made a bit of a name for yourself in the competition circuit, didn't you?
I guess I did.
Well, I think you did, because I remember writing stuff in traditional karate, and you know, and you were quite a player on the competitive circuit, weren't you?
Yeah. It's not until I look back that I realised that a lot of people get involved in karate, and karate becomes their life. It's who they are.
Yeah.
For me, I was more competition was my life. I
Yeah.
like competing.
Yeah.
I did kata because I had to do it.
Right.
I realized early on the basics were important for, and as later life I realized the basics are important for ballistic stretching, for keeping your agility.
Yeah.
If you're not doing those techniques that way, you're going to find it hard to stay agile.
Okay.
So my love was competition karate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I wanted to do, was to compete.
Yeah.
And I had the mindset at the time, if I started a club that was just competition, just sparring, it would be huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized when I tried to, well, no, majority of people don't want to compete.
No.
Majority of people are not interested in the fighting.
No.
And I couldn't get my head around it. I just couldn't get my head around it.
It
So when I came to the States, when I was first in the States, I did have this idea of getting involved. So I was involved with some karate clubs.
Yeah.
I did get this idea of, starting a big karate group.
Yeah.
And then the realization hit me that, here's an example, Bob. If I've worked as a nightclub doorman for 15 years.
Yeah, I was going to come to that in a bit. Yeah.
So I got involved in a lot of the violence. The real stuff, how it works, why it works, and all the rest of it. I was a qualified personal trainer.
Yeah.
Group fitness instructor.
Yeah.
Got my boxing coach's certification. So I've got all the experience. If I advertised karate right now, what percentage of those people do you think would be beginners?
I don't know. You tell me.
If I advertised a karate club right now,
you would think, okay, if you advertise a karate club now, traditional karate club,
just karate, and you said,
yeah,
experienced in real life combat.
Oh, okay. So with practical applications, and
blah, blah, blah.
I don't know, 60, 70%.
I would guess, looking at all the clubs, if you started a karate club right now and you advertised karate, I would say that you're going to get 99% beginners, because people who already train.
Oh, beginners. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Beginners. Okay. Yeah.
They're all beginners.
Yeah.
Because the structure of the martial arts is, you buy into a style, you buy into a club, you buy into a grading system, you buy into this club group association.
Yeah.
Once you're involved in it, nobody changes styles. Nobody changes.
No, that's true.
So if you've got a yellow belt, green belt at wado-ryu, and you see an advertisement, karate, here's a guy with all the experience. Oh my God, wouldn't he be good to train with?
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
No.
So I thought, 99% of people who come to the club are going to be
novices.
beginners.
Yeah.
So with all the experience, I'm now teaching Junzuki and Gyakuzuki for a long, long time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. I'm not giving them any experience or whatsoever. Oh, wait. And what percentage of those beginners are going to be kids?
Oh, yeah, quite a high percentage.
80+% of those are going to be kids under the age of 10.
That's
so with
right.
all this experience, I'm going to stand in a hall with pretty much everybody beginners.
Yeah.
And they're all kids.
Yeah.
Why do I want to do that? I don't want to do that.
No.
So when I got involved, I went over, we spoke about this the other day, actually.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas and I met a guy who was teaching a group fitness class, very, very popular in Agora Hills, California.
Okay.
And he was the right-hand man to Billy Blanks at the time. So he just broke away from Billy Blanks.
Okay.
So I ended up doing some competition training on a Chuck Norris course.
Right.
And he was teaching the group fitness class there. Got talking to him, got an invite to California. Went over, spent 2 weeks in California with him and saw what he was doing.
Right.
Came back home.
Yeah.
Went to a gym and thought, I could teach this. I can teach what it is. I did some experience, but I can be a group fitness instructor with what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I was shitting myself. I went in there. Thought, like, I'm used to standing in front of people teaching classes, but now it's like wall-to-wall leotards.
Yeah.
Aerobic people wanting to kick and punch.
Yeah.
So I threw myself.
Can I ask you? Did you have a leotard on as well?
No, it was mankini.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Actually, no. To be honest, it was a thong. That the first time I went out, I wore it backwards. And it was,
yeah, that's pretty scary. I've got a horrible image. Yeah, I've got a horrible image in my head. So
I mean, once you got that image, you can't get it out, can you?
Yeah, you can't get it out. So now we've all got this image of Ian McCranor.
Yeah.
This middle-aged karate guy. Well, you weren't middle-aged at the time, were you?
No. Well, I was in my 40s, I guess. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Well, yeah. Anyway, with a thong on.
But I got the thong from a charity shop.
Okay.
So it gets worse, don't it?
Have you still got the thong?
Yeah.
Have you got pictures? We all want to see the pictures.
No. I'll show you that later.
Okay, we'll see that after when we stop recording. I'll have a look at the picture. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm now involved in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to teach the karate. I didn't want to teach kids. I didn't want to teach all beginners.
Yeah.
I find myself in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Which, on reflection, I really wasn't in the fitness industry, which we'll get to. I was more in the weight loss industry.
Okay.
Yeah, because most people in these classes, they weren't die-hard real athletes who want to get in tremendous shape. They were housewives who wanted to lose weight.
Yeah, of course.
Most of them.
Yeah.
You've got your diehards in there too, but most people want to lose weight. So I got involved in the fitness industry, but really I was going through the back door and getting into the weight loss industry.
Yeah, I see.
So the classes I got better at, threw myself at them, and then got kicked out of the gym.
Oh.
Yeah, because the personal trainers were now getting complaints that their clients weren't booking them; they were coming to this class.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't the clients that were at fault. They just found that they wanted to train with you.
They came in, started working out with me,
which goes back to what I was saying earlier on. Being a good instructor is all about the personality, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about the person. It doesn't matter about the skill set. It's actually, and you've got a high skill set. I'm not saying that, but it's always about how can that person communicate well with other people. And the problem with a lot of personal trainers, and I think a lot of people listening will understand this, there's not much of a personality there,
right?
You know, because they don't have the background. It's more like they're doing a job. They've learned the moves and they're doing a job. Whereas people like you have come up through the ranks and worked your way up through a variety of different technique ideas, wado-ryu, you know, fitness, boxing, but you've got a varied background, haven't you?
Exactly. So what I found was that people will come into the class for one reason, but then stay in for another reason. They come because they see the class, oh, that'd be fun. Then they get involved and they start realizing that they get in better shape.
Yeah.
They're realizing when they talk about the kind of food they're eating, the diet they're eating, is actually their energy source. They're not feeding their body correctly, so therefore they're always struggling through a class.
Yeah.
And then my explanation to them is, well, it's a kind of it's a vicious circle, because what happens is if you eat correctly, you feel better.
Yeah.
If you feel better, you work out better. If you work out better, you feel better. And if you feel better, you work out better.
Yeah.
And then you eat better. And it all kind of,
it's a cycle, isn't it? It's a cycle. Yeah.
And now they're getting involved they're getting fitter, yes, but they're really looking at their body changing shape.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I got into. Then I realized I was in this weight loss thing.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to people who are personal trainers, their personal trainers were putting them on the treadmill and saying, right, do this for 20 minutes. Well, I can do fucking 20 minutes at home. I didn't pay you.
Yeah.
The treadmill for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Lift this weight, do this weight. And I watched what the personal trainers were doing. So I then went and got my group fitness certification through an organization in the States. Then I went and got my personal trainer certification.
Right.
And through seeing what other trainers were doing, what other people were saying they were doing, and what they wanted, I then just grew a personal training business as well.
Yeah.
So training, group fitness. And when I got kicked out of the gym, I got kicked out nicely. It was like the trainers are complaining, and these trainers pay me, the owner, a percentage, and I can't afford to lose them.
Yeah.
And my class was a few hours a week.
Yeah.
And they were paying me. And I got 50 odd people in these classes originally.
Right.
I was getting paid like $20 for the hour.
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So it was a good move they kicked me out. Because then I went and found somewhere else, thinking, some of these will follow me.
Yeah.
Most of them followed me. So now I'm now paying a small percentage to a gym, and I'm charging these students a lot more. So now I'm making some decent money out of.
Yeah, of course. So you make a
here's
better
the
living.
crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. The gym that I first started at, that was packed.
Yeah.
I sat there scratching my head and just laughing to myself afterwards. I saw some women walking in. They come and work out. You don't really see them when they kind of just leave. This one night, I saw a group of them leaving. They went next door to pick up their kids from a karate club.
Right.
So they were taking their kids, because this club was like 90% kids.
Yeah, yeah.
They were dropping them there, and instead of them doing karate,
yeah,
they came next door and did a fitness class with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I realized that there were no belts in a fitness class.
No, of course not.
There's no gradings.
Yeah.
There's no standard.
Yeah.
There's no expectation.
Yeah.
It's just give people a good time for an hour, motivate them.
Yeah.
And we had it lined up so that the fittest people, the best people, were on the front 2 rows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then people, they like to hide the ones who are overweight.
Of course I do. Yeah. Yeah. You see that all the time.
So they're coming in, and I was strategically, when new people came in, I positioned them behind somebody who I thought could motivate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who they would talk to, especially the people who had lost a ton of weight. I'd introduce them afterwards and say, oh, this is so-and-so. She started 4 months ago. She's lost like 4 stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
These people were selling it for me.
Yeah, of course they were. Yeah, so that's a really good strategy, isn't it? Because you're talking about how you have to do training in different ways for different people, and I found that a long time ago when I was teaching Muay Thai. When I first started teaching Muay Thai in Birmingham 36 years ago, whatever it was, I was training people to fight, because that's what Muay Thai is for. It's for fighting in the ring. And I quickly quickly learned a lesson that actually most of my students aren't there to fight. They want to wear the shorts, have the t-shirts and train and have a bit of fun. And at the end of the day, just feel good about losing weight or getting stronger, getting fitter.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was split the classes up into what I called, I guess, a commercial class and a fighters class, because you're not going to make money from fighters.
No. We said that.
You do not make money from fighters. And if you really love Muay Thai, you work with fighters for free, and it's a luxury, really, in many respects. In Thailand, it's very different, because if you're training in Muay Thai, you're fighting in Muay Thai.
Yeah.
That's it. You've come from a poor background, and this is how you earn your living, essentially. Yeah. So the motivations are different, aren't they? And I've noticed that as well. So you sort of move from sport karate, which is all about fighting, to something that is the complete opposite of it, in a sense.
If somebody walked into the class, though, they would be forgiven for thinking that these predominantly, look, a lot of guys in there, but predominantly females.
Yeah.
You'll be forgiven for thinking that a lot of these have got a proper martial art background. Right. Because the way we worked pad work, the way we worked their technique, they would kick and punch and move and sweep, and without a partner, just in fitness. Yeah. And you'd see them going for it, but you wouldn't look at them. That's the beauty, I think, of what I like about weight loss. You can go into a martial art club, whether it be karate or whatever, and see somebody wearing a coloured belt. Yeah. And that belt signifies their supposedly ability. Yeah, yeah. But a lot of it's bullshit. Because there aren't a lot of clubs that can be honest and say, we fail 60% of our students or 40% of their students. I would ask people right now who are going to a karate club, if you don't know students that are failing gradings, then your club's shit. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said that, because that's what's happening at the moment. Because it's more about, it's been monetized, the whole thing, which is at the detriment of martial arts, to be honest, as you know. And I see it all the time, where I'll meet people who are second dans, knee dans, and san dans, third dans, third dan black belts, right? And they're like 20-year-old. And you look at them and you go, right. I actually had a guy at the university once said to me, and he was 19. And he said, oh, you used to do karate, didn't you? I said, yeah, I graded in Shotokan and wado-ryu. And he goes, oh, what grade did you get in Shotokan? I went, I'm a second dan, like. He went, oh, is that all? I went, why, like? He goes, I said, have you got a grade, like? And he actually went, yeah, I'm a fourth dan in Shotokan. And I looked, I went, how long have you been training? He goes, 4 years. I went, in our day, and, people listening to this will probably be laughing at us and going, you poor old men. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But to get to even meet a fourth dan or a third dan, it was like, whoa, you must have been about 50 years old to get a third dan, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the standards have dropped so much. It's like, I don't even recognize the Shotokan that I see now. And I remember somebody from the Shotokan Karate Club at Birmingham. He came to watch the Thai boxing, and he said he's quite cocky. Like, he said, you're sort of quite loose, this style, isn't it? I said, yeah, that's where we derive our power. I said, in fact, if you look at the old karate fights from back in the day, lifting the heel was a normal thing. I know you're told, don't lift the heel when you're punching, but you do, because you move in, you throw your gappers and you pull back. And of course, as you're talking about it, and I'm sure you're the same, you'll go boom, boom, and you'll jump in and do it. And he looked at me and he went, whoa. He said, how do you do that? And I went, what? And he went, well, you like snapped everything. I went, well, that's what we did. Muscle memory, it's the body mechanic, yeah. Oh, the body mechanics was shocking, Ian. And he was like, his Soto-uki was like that. It was like just a swing of the arm. And I was like, no, fucking snap it in, bang. Because my karate instructors used to say, these are not blocks. These are strikes, bang, agiyuki, boom, smash it in. And you don't. The worst thing that happened to karate is full-time dojos.
Yeah.
Because they now become a business. You've got to pay the rent. You've got to pay everything.
Yeah,
lighting, insurance.
Yeah.
There's so many bills to pay.
Yeah.
That you can't afford to lose students.
Oh, no.
A karate club that is really worth something. That isn't true across the board, because there are clubs that have got
there are some,
phenomenal,
yeah.
But I'm talking generally.
Yeah.
Most of them, because they're all kids need an incentive to keep coming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, surely the training and the fun they're having, the training should be enough. To have to give them a belt to reward them to come back just lowers the standard. It's just ridiculous. And that's why I couldn't buy into it. Now, that's why I like the weight loss industry. I call it the weight loss industry as opposed to, and it shouldn't really be called weight either, because it isn't weight, it's fat loss. It's not weight loss. You don't want to lose muscle, you want to lose fat. We'll call it weight loss because people do.
Yeah. It's
impossible to say, hey, I've got involved in this weight loss thing, if you equate it to karate. And a karate person can say, I'm a black belt, without doing anything, can show them their belt.
Yeah.
You go, oh, yeah. A really, really proper fat person can't say I'm thin.
Yeah.
The visually.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You can't bullshit in.
No, you can't bullshit in weight loss, can you? No.
How much you weigh? Oh, about 8 stone. About 18 stone. No.
Yeah. Again, that's a good point. I've never thought of that, and I like the way you put that. It's like a black belt. You can say you're a black belt and show them you're a black belt, but you don't have to do anything.
No.
No. But yeah, I can see. I can see why you get.
If you walked into a karate club and there were no belts.
Yeah.
There were no gradings.
Yeah.
And they said, show me your black belt. I don't know. Well, when they start moving, you'll see. Okay. So now you can see their ability.
Yeah.
By seeing their ability.
Yeah.
But the reason karate is now for kids is because it's commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And kids will buy it. Parents will buy it for their kids.
Yeah.
And that's why it certainly isn't what we used to do.
Yeah. No. I know. I mean, when I was a kid, we had, I think there was about 10 adults in the class and about 6 kids. And it used to hover between 2 and 6 kids every week because the instructor did not make it fun. It was the way he'd been taught it in Japan. He wasn't doing it for the money. I believe he was a crane driver in the shipyards in the daytime. Yeah. And the reason he did karate is because he loved karate. And that was just, and that to a certain extent has sort of vanished, that passion for the art, And I mean, this is why I've got 2 types of classes, because I've sort of sold out, but I haven't. And the reason the kids' classes are fun is because I need retention to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact some of those kids will, when they get to 13, 14, move into the adult class and be very, very good. And that's when there's a change, their attitude changes and everything. But it's a funny line to walk sometimes, and I question it quite a lot. Why am I doing this? It's because I love Muay Thai. I like teaching kids, and I know that I've taught kids in the past, and I've got guys who train me now in their 40s, and they met me when they were 12. So in a way, I've had some sort of impact on them, and I think that's always a good thing, isn't it? Because when you help people,
it wouldn't bother me so much. I guess it wouldn't bother me so much, and it doesn't really bother me that much, but it wouldn't bother me at all if they didn't equate karate and their belt and a black belt with the real ability to defend yourself.
Yeah.
If they said this is an art form,
it
is you can get fit doing it, you can get agile doing it. It's great for discipline.
Yeah,
it's an art form.
Yeah.
But when they talk about this is self-defense.
Oh yeah.
And as a black belt, not again, massive percentage of black belts would get their shit kicked out of them the very first time they get in any kind of fight.
Yeah, yeah. Which comes back. It comes back to what you were saying earlier on about, you know, the training back in the day was quite hard, and the people who tended to be good at it were quite hard men anyway. You know, the Terry O'Neills of the world. And these guys, if you looked at them, the Dennis Martins, the Gary Spears, they were all doormen as well.
Yeah.
Which, of course, comes back to what you said, because you spent 15 years on the doors.
Yeah.
And that was in Cov. That was in Coventry. Sorry, Cov.
Yeah.
People
Coventry.
won't know what I'm talking about. Coventry, which is in the West Midlands. And I'll be perfectly honest, it's a bit of a shithole. There's some nice parts to it. There's some nice parts. But where you were working, it was some of probably the hardest, horrible dives that you could imagine. Am I right?
It was a horrible job, but it.
Why did you do it? What was your motivation to work the doors?
Because I felt like a fake.
Okay, yeah.
I really felt. I guess if I look back and try to analyse, the first job I did was a taekwondo guy came to the club.
Right.
Training one night. I loved the sparring. Every second I could spar, I'd spar. Yeah. And I'd fight anybody in the club. I didn't care. In actual fact, there were nights that I'd get to the club early. One of the places we trained at had a running track, so I'd run around there. Then I contacted a few other clubs, which were Shotokan clubs actually, maybe 4 or 5 mile away.
Okay.
And there was once, twice a week, for a good while, I didn't do it for too long, I got in touch with the clubs and I'd spar at the club.
Yeah.
Then I'd put a tracksuit on, I'd jog down to another club, spar with those people, and then jog back. And it was just that sparring with me. Anyway, a taekwondo guy that somebody in the club knew came, and I sparred with him, and I swept. I was 18, 19. Was I arrogant? I wouldn't say arrogant. I was naive. I was overconfident, and I was pretty good. Sparring, I was pretty good. So this taekwondo guy came up, 4 or 5 years older than me, and I wiped the floor with him. And he said, "Fuck me." He said, "Do you fancy a job on the door?" I thought, how hard can that be?
Yeah.
So he said, "There's a place you sat at Coventry. It's a bit rough, looking for a doorman." He said, "I think you'd be really good at it."
Yeah.
So I thought, "Been right, yeah."
Yeah.
What's that turned down? So, sorry, man.
No, it's all right.
So the following week, I meet him in this place. It's about 5 mile outside Coventry, and basically it was a fucking armpit where nobody else could get into any club anywhere. They came to this place, and it was just It was horrible.
Yeah.
First night I worked there, I said, "I'm green to it. I don't really know what's going on."
Yeah.
I think I've just turned 18, 19. And he said, "Well, we've got to check people for ID." Maybe it wasn't ID at the time, but somebody looks a bit dodgy. Have a talk to them. You don't want them in. Tell them they can't come in.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Everybody was dodgy.
Okay.
So I'm standing there thinking, this is no trouble yet. This doesn't feel good.
No.
I'm out of my comfort zone now.
Right. Okay.
And some guy going outside, I had a fight with somebody, kicked off. He comes to the door, he's covered in blood. I stop him, and he says, "Get the fuck out of my way." So I shit myself and went, "Okay." And I quit first night.
All right. Okay. So
I quit. So now I'm at the club sparring, and I'm losing sleep.
Because you're thinking, I'm not really a fighter.
I'm a black belt.
Yeah.
And the first person who came to me, who was drunk, in my face, and I bottled it big time.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went, oh my God, it was ruining my karate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Ruining.
Yeah.
Well, you've probably heard, well, you've heard this before, you've been involved in it a long time, but one of the best explanations I can give that we spoke about, the company we've kept over the years, it's been something that we know, but for the sake of people who don't know it, let me give, maybe you know this already, let me give you the best example I ever give people that was huge for me that I worked on that didn't solve that problem, but I recognized it, so I guess it did solve that problem.
Right, yeah.
How old are you, Bob?
63.
63. So for 62 years, you've been walking.
Yeah.
If you started at age 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 62 years, how many single steps have you taken?
Oh God, millions probably.
Billions.
Billions, yeah, probably billions.
Billions. So you could call yourself a one-step expert.
Yeah.
Go on then. Do one step for me. Go on, go ahead, do it. Stand up, do one step.
Yeah, go on then, I've done it.
Yeah, okay, you've done it. Okay. Now go and do the same thing on the high board at the local baths.
Yeah.
The highest board, stand on the edge and take one single step that you've done billions and billions and billions of.
Yeah.
Suddenly that action of one step is not easy.
No, it's enormous, isn't it? Yeah.
Billions of them. How hard can it be to take one single step?
Yeah.
You can't. Well, so what's the point? Well, the point is, if you've done 1 billion right crosses on a focus pad, if you've done combinations on a bag, you can partner work with a person, and you've done billions of them. Yeah. Now, when somebody stands in front of you, it's aggressive with you.
Yeah.
Now do it. So it's not physical.
No.
It's not physical. It's mental.
It's all in the head.
Pulling the trigger is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So once I recognized it wasn't necessarily my ability physically.
Yeah.
Because if you try and teach a self-defense class, you can't, because there's no such thing as self-defense class.
No.
The syllabus is that big.
Yeah.
If it isn't over in 2 or 3 seconds, then you're sparring.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
And if you're sparring, now it's down to your bottle again and your skill. But what is it when you're sparring with somebody, what is it you're trying to do to them? And I ask this on courses that I teach, karate courses. Okay, Yakuzuki. All right. Show me Yakuzuki. Somebody shows it. Okay, what's your intent? Well, hit him with the Yakuzuki. Okay, so what do you want to happen with Yakuzuki? Well, it'll hit him, and it will. Well, what will it do? Will it hurt him? And what will he do? What happens after Yakuzuki? Well, what do you mean? Well, when you've hit him with the Yakuzuki and you've hurt him, he's hurt. What's he going to do? Is it over? No. So if you knock somebody out and actually knock them out and they lie on the floor and they piss themselves and puke themselves and heads pouring blood, is it over? Okay, no, it's not over. It's not that might be over that second.
Yeah.
But there's the police.
The repercussions.
Comebacks.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. Once you throw that punch, you're in it.
Yeah.
You are in it.
Yeah.
So pulling that trigger is very, 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 very difficult because the aftermath is incredible. So when I see people teaching self-defense courses, my first thing is, have you really, really dealt with the 90%, the psychology behind? And I guess it's the self-defense side of things is very, very difficult to put a course on and teach that isn't 90% dialogue.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know my views on it anyway, and I would go so far as to say that self-protection, self-defense is 99% psychological. You know, anybody can learn how to strike and slap and hit people. And as you've said, you know, you can practice it thousands and thousands and millions and billions of times. But if you don't have the intention to pull that trigger, you'll never be able to fight. And this is where people get trapped by like all of these courses that continually run year in, year, and you've seen them year in, year out, different styles, different approaches, different names, and none of them really give any credibility to the huge impact psychology plays on the whole thing. And if you haven't got, I mean, when I do a self-protection courses at the university, I'll get 15 to 16 guys, and I'll say, I can guarantee, looking in this room now, that 15 of you, you'll shit yourselves in a fight and you'll run off. So I'm not going to spend the next 3 hours teaching you how to hit things, because you won't be able to.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how not to get into a fight, how to be aware. And that's what protection's about.
Yeah.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head. And I love the analogy of the, you know, you're an expert at one step, you know, you've done it a billion times, and yet put you on a high board. Have you got the intention to step?
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true.
I work with boxers, Bob. I work with some boxers who, they were weaned on knocking people out.
Yeah.
They were very good knocking people out, but bottled it big time on the door because.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because when they knock somebody out in the ring, or they hit somebody in the ring, and the referee stops it.
Yeah.
Same with MMA fighters. They like to have a fight. They can get into a fight.
Yeah.
But outside, it's different.
Completely
different. You might say somebody's tough. Well, so what? Somebody isn't stabbing you in the back of the head with a glass. Somebody isn't kicking the head off you on the floor. The police aren't going to put you away for it. There's so many things that happen in a street fight.
Yeah.
That any controlled environment, and people say, "Oh, well, MMA, mixed martial arts, that's the way to go." Well, no. Well, here's another question I ask people that it blows their mind. They can't get their head around it when they can't get the answer. When was the last time, I'll ask you this, when was the last time you were attacked on the street for absolutely no reason?
No, I've never been attacked on the street.
Right. I got the same answer from 100% of people I spoke to.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you were attacked on the street for absolutely no reason? Never. No. Ever. So therefore, the next question would be, looking back, what fights have you been in? Then we start getting into it.
Yeah.
So you avoided it. Yeah, probably. So this wasn't about self-defense. So why do you go to a self-defense class if you've never been attacked on the street ever?
Yeah.
What makes you want to go to a self-defense class? It's not, people don't go to self-defense for self-defense. They go because they're the ilk that want to hit shit.
Yeah.
They want to hit things. They want to grapple. They want to say they're involved. They want to wear a tap-out shirt and say, I'm involved in grappling. I'm involved in fighting.
That's it. They're part of a tribe.
They're part of the tribe.
Yeah.
So if you really want to learn to defend yourself, then you need to learn the psychology of it and then knock people out. Because if I'm standing in front of somebody who I think is going to be a problem, I'm not thinking, let me hit them a few times and see what happens.
Yeah.
This guy's going to be unconscious in very, very quickly, and I'm running like fuck.
Yeah.
My only intention is unconsciousness. That's it.
Yeah.
If I've got a strike.
Yeah.
If there's 2 or 3 of them, that's it. And then I'm legging it. I'm not fighting with them. So again, the MMA world, they're talking about grappling is king.
Yeah. You know my views on that. I think, I remember somebody we know, a mutual friend of ours, sort of said that 99% of fights go to the ground. And I said, you're only saying that because you're selling books on it.
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about. And it's true. It's fashionable. And I still have guys who come in the gym and say, do you do any grappling? I go, no, you don't. No, we don't. We stand up clinch work, but that's a different thing. And it's a sport. I'm teaching a sport here.
Yeah.
Well,
I would tell people, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to explain to you, but I can't do it for you. I can't make you feel what it feels like. The best thing you can do to get that feeling is go to a place where you know. At 2 a.m.
And it's going to kick off. Yeah.
And stand in the middle of it and feel it. And imagine you being the person dealing with it. And in Coventry, I could tell you where to go, what time to go, and how to see it at any particular time.
Yeah, at any time.
Don't talk about it. I'll show you how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Because throwing a punch isn't difficult. I don't know why people are working so hard on all this power.
No.
Because you don't need a lot of power to knock somebody out.
No, you don't. I'm so glad I'm having this conversation.
Yeah. The only reason you need power is when you're sparring with somebody who's conditioned to take that power.
Absolutely. And
those people are not on the street fighting most of the time.
No, of course they're not. They're too busy in the gym, aren't they?
if you're getting in a boxing ring with somebody and going to do 10 rounds or semi-pro or pro, first fights 3 rounds, whatever it is, and you don't want to get knocked out, and you want to knock the guy out, and he's training to be conditioned to not be knocked out, then you need that kind of punching power.
Of course you do.
But on the street, the average person, just throwing your fist at them is going to fucking knock them out.
Yeah, of course it would. Just clip them.
Just, most people are going to go down. So while you're doing all this crazy power stuff, you're confused, totally confused. So I'd say to people, I'm going to show you where to hit them, how to hit them. It's I want you to be phenomenal, awesome, ridiculously just ruthless, about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all you need to be. And if you can be that, and you can pull the trigger, you'll end it before it starts.
Yeah.
But to get used to that feeling, go and find somewhere that is just horrible.
Yeah.
And go and live in that world.
Yeah.
And I guarantee the chances are you're going to be walking away from there pretty quick. You're not going to want to do that.
You're not going to take that first step, are you? You're not. Most people don't. Because most people want to avoid violence, which is normal. It's what I say to the guys. It's a normal human reaction. Don't expect to be the big man. Most people get scared when they're in a situation where there's violence, because confrontation is one of the worst fears we have.
Yeah, it's strange how the conversation turned from weight loss to they're all very similar.
Now they're all linked, but it's all linked. It's all about psychology.
They're all linked. I know people, and most people will understand this. I know people, as you do, who've been losing 30 pounds for 30 years.
Yeah.
You can't lost 30 pounds. Well, no. Hold on a minute. I can give you a date right now to lose the weight. I can actually give you the date, guaranteed date where you'll lose 30 pounds. Well, how do you do that? Well, at £10 a month, that's £2.5 a week.
Yeah, which is achievable.
If you do what's required, to lose £2.5 a week, that's £10 a month.
Yeah.
If today's date is what's today's date?
10th of July.
10th of July, August, September, October. 10th of October, guaranteed, you're going to be £30 down. I know that because if you do what's required, so how can you be losing less than that amount every week if you know what to do, what's required?
Yeah.
But how have you still been trying to lose £30 for 30 years? There needs to be a date at which you say this is done, it's over, or weight loss is done with.
Yeah.
Weight loss clubs wouldn't survive if everybody was successful.
Oh God, no, they would be out of business. I mean, Weight Watchers would be, they'd hardly have anybody there, would they?
No. So they sell them a program that they know that the majority of people can't stick to.
Yeah. Do you think that's what it is then? Do you think?
I don't think they do purposely sell them a program they can't stick to.
No. It's just they don't understand the process, the methodology. Like
people say, I go to so and so. It's a weight club, and I know 1 or 2 people who do this. And I said to them, "How many people at the weight club are you friends with?" "Oh, loads." "Okay, how long have you known them?" "Oh, 15, 20 years." "So where did you meet them?" "At the weight club." They're still going to the weight club.
Yeah, it's become a social thing.
So why are you still going to that club? It's not very successful, is it? If it was successful,
they would have left ages ago.
They'd left 3 months being in, 4 months being in.
Yeah.
Even 10 months, £100, 10 months in, less than a year.
Yeah.
it'd be done right. They've been going there 20 years.
All
How much weight they're going to lose? Oh, still loads. What did they start at? £1,000?
How big were you? £1,000.
I mean, you know what I mean?
No, I know you.
If you've got a goal and a timeline, whether it is self-defense, whether it's weight loss, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I got up this morning, I knew this morning what my diet was.
Yeah.
I knew this morning what my workout was.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up and go, oh, what do I want to eat today? Because if you leave it to mindless eating, you'll just say, I'll eat what I want.
Yeah, of course.
Workout today. What I fancy doing? Oh, I'm not in the mood. I won't do it. Yeah. You need to go to bed knowing what you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. So what you're saying, you have to plan. You've got to plan things, haven't you? You have to have a plan of some kind.
A plan of some kind, but I think it's a mindset of, I have put weight on over the years for whatever reason, but I'm very conscious that when I do. So again, an explanation to give to somebody: if your jeans are too tight, the worst thing you can do in the world is go to the shop and buy a bigger pair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If your jeans are too tight, you put them back in the chair, you start your diet, you start your workout until they fit again. Yeah. You don't buy a bigger pair. No. Because all you're going to do is you're going to get bigger ones.
It's going to go up in increments, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like the weight loss industry, because it's honest.
Yeah.
You can't lie about it.
You can't cheat. You can't cheat about your weight, can you? You can't, it's like you can wear a black belt and stop training. Yeah. I mean, we all know people who've got their black belt. We've probably got friends who've trained with us, and they got to their black belt and then they just rested on their laurels. They didn't want to fight. They just did their katas that they needed to do, and they waited for the next grade, and then they moved up and moved up and moved up.
Well, karate for me was, at the time, I thought it was something I'd always be involved in. Something that was part of me.
Yeah, yeah.
I threw myself at it and really loved it.
You were like Ian McCranor, the karate guy,
Yeah.
You were always on the cover, the magazines.
But yeah, if I was a glass, I was a mug, a glass, I would say that from the age of 18 to 23, 24, I was full with karate.
Yeah.
Flow with karate. You try and put something into a full glass.
Yeah.
There's no room for it.
There's no room. No, of course. You've got no room for growth, have you?
You've got no room. You've got to start giving up, emptying the glass a little bit.
Yeah.
To include other things. So once I start to empty it, I've got a background in karate. I still kick like I used to kick. I can punch and move. I can still do the things I used to do, which is surprising for me at my age now, but I still work at it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But for the glass to not overflow, I had to empty some things out.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing I want to pick up a lot of skills.
Yeah.
So, I mean, work-wise, we had a conversation today, which is, you nailed it, absolutely nailed it. What do you do for work? What day is it?
Yeah, exactly. What day is it?
I appreciate that there are people who have to, and it's ideal really, have to have a steady, regular, what they know is coming in per month income. They have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Because without that, they can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay their payment, they can't pay their bill. They need to know it's steady.
Yeah.
I've never, ever done that though.
No, I'm the same.
Because, I went in, I had the gym for a while, so I got my personal training certification. I got my group fitness certification. I got a boxing coach certification. So I was all involved in the fitness. I studied weight loss management with an organization, which a lot of that is bullshit really too. But I got involved in that. Then the gym just got, for me, it was just first in, last out. It was like 7 days a week. Yeah, that's
the only problem, isn't it? We were talking about this the other day, and having a full-time gym it sounds great. It really does. But it's not it's not where you want to end up, is it? It's stuck in a gym all
classes were packed. It was very successful, but I was really burnt out.
Yeah.
Again, my glass became full of. It was just that.
Yeah.
I need to put something else in.
No room for anything else, is there?
So I went ahead and then I got a driving license for the big 18-wheelers over here, the big 70-foot long over-the-road trucking. Not at all wanted to be a trucker. I just wanted a license.
You just
did that. Got that. So I got a license for that. Then I went and spent a few months in Florida, and I got my what you call PSV there, the motor coach license.
Yeah.
And I was driving the Disney Magical Express from the airport with all the tourists going.
Seriously?
To Disney. Yeah, I was driving through the.
So from karate man to doorman to coach driver.
Yeah, it's a motor coach, and it was.
You just don't care, do you? You just don't care.
You're taking people to Cape Canaveral, to Disney Cruise Line or Carnival Cruise Line.
Yeah.
So, you know, lunchtime is looking over the Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, where the Saturn V rockets used to take off.
Yeah, so from the airport to all the Disney Walt Disney resorts, all the theme parks.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I thought I could do it part-time.
Yeah.
Not a chance. I thought I could do that part-time because I never want to be tied to
a job,
a place or a job.
Yeah.
So I got the license. I got this in with this company. I thought I could just do it, but that wasn't working out. Like they wanted me every hour. And I went, no, I'm a personal trainer. I teach group fitness. I like to do my own training.
Yeah.
And this job is interfering in my life. I don't want a job. I just want to do something when I want to do it. And if you can't accommodate me, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
you've ended up. So you're spending you live in the US. Are you like a US citizen now? Or?
Yeah, I got citizenship now.
So you got citizenship in the US, but you do come back to Coventry because you've got other sort of projects. Now we're sort of coming to the point in the podcast where we start to go over the hour now. So what I'm going to suggest is that, and I think because I'm fascinated to know what happened. I've got some ideas anyway because I've spoken. But I want to take it down some other threads as well and come back to some of the stuff you were doing on the doors because I know you've got a few more interesting things to say about that. But you, like me, being an old bugger, we tend to shoot off at tangents, which is good. But I want to bring us back, and we're running out of time now. I want to bring us back to some of the stuff you're doing in Coventry, but also what keeps bringing you back over to the UK and then back, and discuss that. So what I'm not. Don't think I'm being rude here, Ian, and I'm sure people want to listen. But we'll get to about an hour, and what I want to do is invite you back on, and we'll do another couple of hours probably, and we'll take it from there. Is that all right, Ian?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's been brilliant having you on. This is just part one. We'll be doing part 2 and 3, probably
4 or 5.
Yeah, who knows? Because by next week, you'll have done some other crazy thing, like a bottle pilot's license or something like that, like flying a space.
Yeah, I'm getting my barber's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're definitely going to talk about that. I was going to keep that quiet. I wanted to keep that quiet. Yes, Ian McCranor, Master Barber. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the next podcast. So I'm just going to say tra for now, Ian.
Okay, mate.
And I'll catch up with you really soon. All right, mate?
Yeah, brilliant. Nice talking to you, Bob.
Good night, and I'll catch you soon.
Thanks, mate.
Right, stay there.